I'm not a candidate.
You want me to work that for you?
As my kids would say, that's my jam.
Former President Trump is still 27 points ahead of you in the state. So, Governor, I have to ask you, are you committed to staying in this race through the Iowa caucuses?
I don't think anyone's ever done an Iowa caucus with this amount of institutional and grassroots support, and it's only going to build for here, and we look forward to being victorious on January 15th.
So just to be clear, you are committed to staying in the race through the caucuses?
Oh, of course I am.
Okay, so he sort of got to an answer there. Now she's going to press him. Kristen Welker is going to press him a little bit more on his strategy because he is in a bad spot when it comes to Iowa, and he has put a lot of his attention and focus into there. He talks about institutional support. It's really more institutional spending. He's done speeches, I think, in every county in Iowa. So it would certainly seem like this is make or break. So let's get a little bit more of that.
Well, we're going to win the caucus. We're doing everything that we need to do it.
But what if you don't, Governor?
Support.
What if
and
you
I've
don't?
said from the beginning, we're going to win. We're going to win the caucus. But even apart from that, there have been people that have won Iowa and not won the nomination, and vice versa. You need to win a majority of the delegates. We're well positioned, and we're going to be able to take it all the way to the end to be able to win a majority of those delegates.
Bottom line, is Iowa do or die for you, Governor?
We're going to win Iowa.
Just answer the question, buddy. Is it do or die? Just say no. I mean, you already kind of did that in a way that I actually thought was pretty good. Amongst all of that, avoiding the questions and all of that, he said there are people who have lost Iowa and gone on to become the nominee.
Right.
Which is true. And that's a perfectly fine point. I would say I'm not in this for one battle. I'm in this for the war. And I want to win Iowa. I think we have a lot of support in Iowa, but I'm not simply going to go quietly into that good night if we lose it. No, we're going to be there until the convention. Just say that. That projects more strength than I'm going to win. He's such a coward. And on the right especially, they love this fake, feigned idea of being an alpha and all this bravado and everything. And he's just not good at projecting that.
It's interesting because he's done so poorly in these interviews time after time after time that you start to realize like he knows Republican voters aren't watching Meet the Press. Like he knows if he's on Fox, he might be doing that, but he doesn't have to perform. And somehow, like every time he's like, I know, look, I understand there's a better line he could take and better tack, but like it is very hard to give like a solid answer, John, when there's like just a stream of pee-pee just trickling down your leg. And like every time he's on mainstream news and he's asked a question, I could hear it. It's just this little, you know, just slowly wetting himself. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, just pretend, dude. Like pretend like your campaign has legs and you still have money and they're not abandoning ship for Nikki Haley. Yeah.
Pretend that your campaign has legs and that those legs are not coated in a thin layer of urine.
Exactly.
And it's just you're just thinking about it and you're thinking, is it going to be visible? No, after the last time I started wearing blue khakis.
Right. This is a waist up interview. I'm cool.
100%. Some staffer might smell something, but I'll fire them. I don't care. No one trusts them. They're a peasant. Anyway, he's really bad at these interviews. What it makes me think when I see him struggling to project strength or confidence or capability or competency is how did he become governor? Like, I get that he won the second time after, multiple years of just turning the entire apparatus of Florida state government into institutional suppression of outgroups. Mm-hmm. That's going to play to right wingers in Florida. But how did he win the first time? How did he beat other Republicans in the Republican primary the first time? He's so bad at this. But he's there and we're stuck with him. But perhaps not for much longer. And look, I obviously enjoy that because it makes him look bad. But I think it's a perfectly fair question for Welker to ask. They ask candidates all the time, what are the lines that your campaign, might not make it through. And the issue is that he's not just doing bad in comparison to Donald Trump. He's also got someone coming from behind. So if we go to this chart, Haley's at 10 in the most recent poll. So this is an aggregate where he still has a couple points on Nikki Haley. But in the most recent poll, he's up 1 point over Haley nationally. And Haley's leading in New Hampshire over him in New Hampshire and South Carolina. And so to say like, if you come in third in Iowa and you're still polling really bad in the following states, are you still going to continue? I think that's a very fair question to ask.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.